Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you, dear devotees, for very kindly joining for our ongoing discussions on the Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta, the life history of Sachinandan Gauranga Maha. Before we start, dear devotees, let us chant the Mangalacharan prayers, seek auspiciousness from our spiritual superiors like Srila Prabhupada, and then get started in our today's discussion. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुस्तुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनेति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकायै तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। आनन्दलीलामय विग्रहाय हेमावदिव्यछविसुन्दराय तस्मै महाप्रेमरसप्रदाय चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते नित्यानन्दम् अहं नौमि सर्वानन्दकरं परं हरिनामप्रदं देवम् अवधूत शिरोमणि। श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु की जय, श्री नित्यानंद राम की जय, समस्त गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। हरे कृष्णा. Thank you all dear devotees for once again joining. If you were there yesterday and if you weren't there yesterday but you're joining today, welcome to the discussions on Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sachinandan Gauranga Mahaprabhu. We are reading from the Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta, and as we read, we are discussing. So it's not like a traditional class, but whatever we little we read, we discuss, we read, so we go back and forth that way. So yesterday we spoke about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu going to Srila Ishwara Puripad, going to Gaya to do the Pindadan, meeting his Guru Maharaj Srila Ishwara Puripad. We also spoke about how when we address our Guru Maharaj, we use Shri Srimad Om Vishnupad Srila, etc. And after meeting Ishwara Puripad, there is a transformation. He becomes Bhavuk Nimai. He starts remembering Krishna, crying for Krishna. And then they all meet at the house of Shuklambar Brahmachari, and how the whole house comes crashing down, and how Gadadhar in the room inside he cries because that is what he always wanted. He wanted Nimai to become a devotee, and now that was completely fructified. So we saw the transformation of Nimai from someone who was into debates and arguments into someone who is now a devotee crying for Krishna. So that is where we concluded the discussion. Chaitanya Charitamrita explains he delivered love of Krishna to Sachi Devi by nullifying her offense to Advaita Acharya, by instructing her to touch Advaita's lotus feet. Now, this is another very beautiful pastime that had occurred. It's just one line, but there is a whole story behind what had unfolded. When Advaita Acharya was there in Navadvip, the personality who called Chaitanya Mahaprabhu down to this world, it is explained that when he would take classes, he would serve classes in Nadia. And when he would serve classes, what would he speak on? He would speak from the pages of Bhagavad Gita. He would speak from the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. Gita Bhagavata kahe Acharya Gosaye Jnana Karma Nindi Kare Bhaktira Badaye. ज्ञान कर्म निंदी करे, निंदा करते थे, ज्ञान मार्ग और कर्म मार्ग की निंदा करते थे, लेकिन भक्ति रा बड़ाई, भक्ति की बड़ाई करते थे, as to how bhakti is very glorious. And he would speak about bhakti from Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita. We see in the Gita also Krishna talks so much about bhakti. The initial middle chapters from chapter 7 till chapter 12 is pretty much bhakti yoga. In fact, in the famous verse of Patra Pushpam Phalam Toyam. So in Sanskrit, there is no fa. Like normally in India, we say phal. Ye phal kitne ka hai? Ye phal, wo phal, etc. So actually it is phal. There is no word like fa. The reason I say it because I made a mistake. One time I remember I was speaking for devotees in Toronto, and I said I was speaking on the section of how Krishna, the fruit vendor pastime. So there Krishna is, there is a verse where Shukadev Goswami, says Phalarti. Uh, Phalaprada has become Phalarti. He says something on those lines. He says as to how he who gives fruits to everyone, he is now wanting fruits from the fruit vendor lady. हम्म, वो भगवान जो सबको फल प्रदान करते हैं, अब वो भिक्षुक के तौर पर आए हैं फल मांगने के लिए. So there I remember I said फल, and one Prabhupada disciple was there. So she said it is not fal, it is phal. In Sanskrit, there is no fa, there is pha. So from that time I remember. So just thought of sharing it. It is phal. There's no fa in Sanskrit, as we say. So here we find that even in the section of Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, in that famous verse, Krishna uses bhakti two times. Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachati Tadham Bhakti Uparitam Asnami Prayatatmanaha. Two times he uses bhakti. So when Advaita Acharya would speak, he would speak from Bhagavad Gita and he would speak from Srimad Bhagavatam, and primarily he would speak about the glories of bhakti. And now many people would come and attend his classes. And one such personality who would attend the class was Vishwarup. Who is Vishwarup? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's older brother. So Mahaprabhu is Vishwambhar and his older brother is Vishwarup. So Mahaprabhu's passport name is Vishwambar Mishra. We see we have a passport name whenever we are traveling. So Mahaprabhu's passport name, whenever he travels, it is Vishwambar Mishra, and older brother is Vishwarup Mishra. So Vishwarup would go to the classes of Advaita Acharya very often. And whenever he would go, Advaita Acharya would serve class. He would be very much inclined towards that class, and naturally changes were seen in the life of Vishwarup. And every day he would so much be absorbed in the class that he would forget his lunch. Khana khana bhul jate the. Now it is very rare that we will forget our lunch or dinner, right? Even when katha is going on, prasadam is something we will never forget. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, this we will always remember. We may forget to chant our rounds, but we will never forget to eat prasadam. But here is Vishwarup. So much absorbed in hearing about the Lord, he practically forgot to even have prasadam. So every day, Sachi Mata would send Nimai to go and call Vishwarup. So Nimai one time he came to the house of Advaita Acharya, and he just glanced at everyone. He just he just looked at everyone, and then he said, "Bhaiya, brother, our mother is calling for lunch, so please come." And Sachi Mata had sent Nimai without any clothes because he was very small. Just like Yashoda Maya would not put anything on Krishna. Similarly, Sachi Mata, who's not different from that Yashoda Maya, would not put anything on Nimai because he was he was chota bacha. He was very small. So he would just walk with Mother Nature covering him on all four sides. He would just walk. And now he just glanced at everyone. It is explained, seeing the beauty of Nimai at that point, everyone forgot why they had assembled there. All this time they were discussing Katha, but now looking at Nimai, they forgot why they had assembled, including Advaita Acharya. He who called Chaitanya Mahaprabhu down, वो भी भूल गए. Why they have assembled there, they all forgot. Mahaprabhu is very beautiful. When Mahaprabhu is there at Alarnath, at that time, Kaviraj Goswami very beautifully he says, Kanchana Sadrisha Deha Arunavasan Pulaka Shrukam Pasveda Tahate Bhushan. How beautiful is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Kanchana Sadrisha Deha Arunavasan. The form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it is like gold. It is like chalta firta gold. You see, people of this world get attracted to gold. Nimai or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is like that gold. Kanchana. We see in Chaitanya Charitamrta, sometimes he is addressed as Kanchana. Sometimes he will be addressed as Hema. All gold, different words. Aruna Vasan. How is his cloth? Oh, they are Aruna. So Aruna is the charioteer of sun god. You see, before the sun rises, it is always orangish in color, right? So the complexion of Aruna, the charioteer of sun god, his complexion is orangish. So what is Mahaprabhu's cloth? Aruna Vasan. His cloth is orangish. And Pulakashru Kampasveda Tahate Bhushan. Oh, his hair is standing on end. Pulaka. Pulaka means hair. Mahaprabhu's hair is standing on end. As he's doing kirtan, oh, his hair is standing on end. We see Narottam Das Thakur is making the same point in his famous song. Gauranga bolite hobe pulaka sharira Hari Hari bolite na yane babe nira Ara kabe nitai chander করুণা হইবে সংসার বাসনা মোরা কবে তুচ্ছ হইবে. So he says, when will that day come, my dear Lord, when I will chant Gauranga, when I will chant Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and my hair will stand on end. So that is our goal also. When will that day come when we will chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra or Gauranga Nityananda or any name of Krishna for that matter, and our hair will stand on end. These are the ecstatic symptoms that nectar of devotion, Rupa Goswami explains, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So Pulakashru Kampasveda Tahate Bhushan, hair is standing on end. Ashru, tears are flowing, and beads of perspiration. Mahaprabhu is sweating. But Tahate Bhushan, Kaviraj Goswami says, even with hair standing on end, tears flowing from his eyes, and he perspiring, it is adding to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's beauty. Tahate Bhushan, he who is already beautiful, Baap re Baap, up the Ori, he becomes more and more beautiful with these things. When we sweat, we don't look beautiful, right? We look very bad. Or when we are crying, we look very bad. But for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even that is adding to his beauty. This is the same thing that Uddhava also says in third canto. Param Padam Bhushana Bhushanangam. He says that the ornaments don't ornament Krishna. Krishna ornaments the ornament. For us, when we wear ornaments, we become beautified. We become beautiful, handsome, whatever. But for Krishna, it's the other way. Ornaments don't ornament him. He ornaments the ornament. The ornaments get a software upgrade because they are on the body of Krishna. Param Padam Bhushana Bhushanangam. That is how beautiful Krishna is. Hmm? So similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explained here. Hmm? Tahate Bhushan. He is becoming more and more beautiful. And now you can imagine when he's small as Nimai, how beautiful he'll be. Everyone practically forgot why he had come. And every day he would come and call his brother, Vishwarup, please come and honor Prasadam. And one time Advaita Acharya was thinking, who is this son? Who is this boy? Like, he doesn't look normal. He's golden in complexion, and every day he's coming. And when he comes, we all become blank. We all forget why we assemble. Who is this boy? And Nimai at that time looked at Advaita Acharya and he just smiled. And Mahaprabhu didn't speak anything. Nimai didn't speak anything, but just smiling at Advaita Acharya, he said, my dear Nadha, which means older, like a fatherly figure. Hmm? My dear Nadha, you only called me down to this world and now you are asking me who I am. आपने ही बुलाया था ना, you only worshipped Ganga water. With Ganga water and Tulsi leaves, you worship Shaligram. And you called me down. So, my dear Nadha, I am that same personality whom you invoked. Hmm? We see Advaita Acharya was the personality who called Chaitanya Mahaprabhu down. आबद्ध करुणा सिंधु कतिया मोहन घरे घरे फूले प्रेम आमी आराबन. Very beautifully the Acharya say that Nityananda Prabhu, he broke the dam of Krishna Prem. The Lord wanted to give Krishna Prem, but there was a dam that was stopping it. And our Nityananda Prabhu, Katiya Mohan, Ghare Ghare Phule Prem, he broke that dam. And you see, when the dam is broken, the water flows in all the directions. There is no control. So Nityananda Prabhu broke that dam of Krishna Prem, and now the waters of Krishna Prem, Gaur Prem, Vrindavan Prem, Radha Prem was going in every house, every village, to every person. The question arises, what was that dam? It was time factor, Acharya is explained. The Supreme Lord wanted to come down. He wanted to give this. But when he will come down, this was not decided. It was still question mark. It was Nityananda Prabhu and Advaita Acharya. They accelerated. They said, my dear Lord, come down as soon as possible. Shubhasya Shigram, come down. So these two personalities accelerated Gauranga's descent down to this world. And Advaita Acharya, we see, when he was worshipping Shaligram, this was his desire. Tulasi dala matreena jalasya chulukena va vikriditena atmana bhaktebhyo bhaktavatsalaha. In the Gautamiya Tantra, it is explained that he who worships Shaligram or worships Krishna for that matter with Ganga water and Tulasi leaves, the Supreme Lord says, I sell myself to that person. भगवान बिक जाते हैं, भगवान रीच जाते हैं. भक्ति उस व्यक्ति की भक्ति देखकर भगवान रीच जाते हैं. He becomes, he sells himself to that person. So it's a good trick to have Krishna in our life. Or worship him with Ganga water and Tulasi leaves. Because it is explained in Gautamiya Tantra. And when Advaita Acharya read this, he started worshipping his Narsingha Shaligram with Ganga water and Tulasi leaves. And when the Lord appeared, he said, my dear Lord, you had only promised. I didn't say anything. You promised in the Shastra. So I was just following whatever you had promised. So now when Nimai was coming to call Vishwarup, Nimai was looking at Advaita Acharya and saying, Nadha, you only called me down. So why are you having questions? I am that same personality. But all this without speaking, just with smile. Sometimes we see in this world also, not everything has to be spoken. Sometimes व्यक्ति का चेहरा देखकर हम समझ जाते हैं. We understand what he wants to explain. So what to speak of Nimai and Advaita Acharya? They don't have to speak everything. Just through heart to heart, everything can be understood. So now, eventually, what happened is because Vishwarup was attending the classes of Advaita Acharya every day, even when he would come home for prasadam, he would be there in the Vishnu Mandir all day. And he would not do household activities because he was completely absorbed in Krishna consciousness. Not that he was lazy. Not that he was lazy. Not like us that घर का काम भी नहीं करना है, बाहर का काम भी नहीं करना, भक्ति भी नहीं करना. ना, ऐसे नहीं. He was so much absorbed in Krishna consciousness that he just lost track of everything. And eventually there came a day when Sachi Mata and Jagannath Mishra, the parents, they decided to get Vishwarup married. The age was suitable, so they decided that he should get married. And this was a thunderbolt to the heart of Vishwarup because he was hearing the classes of Advaita Acharya. And naturally, there was so much bhakti rising in the heart that he didn't want to get married. He didn't want worldly duties and worldly activities. He wanted to give his life 100% to the lotus feet of Radha Shama Sundar. Bhakti Pareshano Bhavo Viraktir Anyatra Chaisa Tri Ek Kalaha. The 11th canto of the Bhagavatam explains that three things happen simultaneously. Bhakti, that is bhakti rises in the heart. Paresha Anubhava, direct experience of the Lord. Bhagavan ka sakshatkar. And third, Virakti, renunciation. Three ek kalaha. All three happen simultaneously. Bhakti will rise in the heart, direct experience of the Lord, and renunciation. And Acharyas give the example just like when we are hungry, we eat. When the first morsel goes inside, there is pleasure, there is nourishment, and there is relief from hunger. All three happen simultaneously, right? When we eat, when we honor prasadam, there is pleasure, there is nourishment, and there is relief from hunger. Just like all three happen simultaneously. Similarly, for someone who is hearing Krishna Katha, Bhakti, Pareshanubhavo, Virakti, all these three happen simultaneously. Bhakti will rise in the heart, Pareshanubhavo, direct experience. Para Isha Anubhava. Anubhava means experience. Para Isha of the Supreme Lord. And Virakti, renunciation. Now you can imagine if this is what will happen for people like us, what to speak about Vishwarup, who's Mahaprabhu's older brother. And that too when the speaker is Advaita Acharya. What level of renunciation will be there in his heart? And now, if he is forced to get married, well, that is not his cup of tea. So eventually, because he didn't want this, Vishwarup leaves home. He goes to the forest and takes sannyas. And Vishwarup gets the name Shankararanya. His sannyas name becomes Shankararanya. And now when Sachi Mata gets to know, Jagannath Mishra get to know, when Nimai gets to know that his older brother has taken sannyas, it's a big thunderbolt. It's a big thunderbolt to their heart. And they practically faint, unconscious, crying. They were planning for his marriage and overnight he leaves home, takes sannyas and has a new name by the name Shankararanya. Advaita Acharya came and he consoled and pacified the family members. He said, well, if one person in the family becomes a pakka, pure devotee, then multiple generations get uplifted. We have seen that in Prahlad Maharaj's pastime also. One pure sadhu, pure Vaishnava in the family, and so many generations get uplifted. So Advaita Acharya quoted this point of Prahlad Maharaj and explained as to how if Vishwarup becomes a good devotee, then everyone gets benefited. But actually, we see the whole family is glorious. Brother is Vishwarup, the son is the Supreme Lord himself, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the parents are not different from Yashoda Maiya and Nanda Maharaj. So, इनका क्या ही उद्धार करे? I mean, now they are from the spiritual world. There is no one superior to them. But still, Advaita Acharya, as a matter of Tattva Siddhanta, was trying to console and pacify. But still, Sachi Mata had this thing in her mind. Sachi Mata had this thing in her mind that it is because of Advaita Acharya that I lost my son. My son left home and took sannyas because of Advaita Acharya, because he would serve classes. Because of him, my son left, my older son left. Of course, she never vocalized it, but this thing was always there in her heart, in her mind, that, oh, because of Advaita Acharya's classes, my son left. Now, the Supreme Lord understood this. Now, this is an offense towards Advaita Acharya because he who invoked the Supreme Lord down, his mother, was having a transcendental grudge against Advaita Acharya. Sripad Aindrapur, on a side note, Sripad Aindrapur would once he said, if you have grudge, you don't get grudge. If you have grudge, you don't get grudge. यदि ब्रज की प्राप्ति चाहिए तो ग्रज नहीं होना चाहिए. If you have grudge, you don't get grudge. So to not have grudge against anyone, not just devotees, to not have grudge against anyone, if you want grudge. So Ayendra Prabhu would have this rhyming one-liners that he would say in his room conversations. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu understood this, and Mahaprabhu, he took this as an offense towards his mother. That is, or he took this as an offense towards Advaita Acharya. It was his mother's offense towards Advaita Acharya. And to nullify this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked his own mother that you go and take the dust of Advaita Acharya's lotus feet and ask for forgiveness. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not ready to forgive his own mother for Vaishnava Aparadha. Can you imagine that? We may be Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mother, but there is no scope for Vaishnava Aparadha. Whoever we are, there is no concession. This rule is applicable for anyone, including Sachi Mata, the Lord's mother. She had to go and ask forgiveness from the person whom she had transcendental grudge against, or whom she had thought that it is because of him that her older son left and took sannyas. कहाँ रे ना निंदा करे कृष्णा कृष्णा बोले अजय चैतन्य से चीनी बे कहले. वृंदावन दास ठाकुर explains in Chaitanya Bhagavat. कहाँ रे ना निंदा करे कृष्णा कृष्णा बोले. किन्हीं की निंदा नहीं करनी चाहिए. Don't criticize anyone. In the time that we used to criticize, let us use our tongue to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Kahare na ninda kare, Krishna Krishna bole. In the time that we are using for all this criticism, let us use our tongue to glorify Krishna. Because that is the purpose of the tongue. Jivhana Bhakti Bhagavad Guna Namadheyam. Even Yamaraj in the sixth canto of the Bhagavatam says, the purpose of the tongue is to glorify Krishna. It is to speak about Krishna. Vani Gunanu Kathane. श्रवणौ कथायां हस्तौ च कर्मसु मनस्तव पादयोर्न स्मृत्य शिरस्तव निवास जगत प्रणामे दृष्टि सताम दर्शनेस्तु भवत्तनूनाम. Canto 10 of the Srimad Bhagavatam. What is the purpose of all the senses? Srimad Bhagavatam explains Vani Gunanu Kathane. The purpose of the tongue is to speak about Krishna, is to chant Krishna's name, is to glorify devotees, not that we criticize them. Vani Gunanu Kathane. Shravanau Kathayam, the purpose of the ear is to hear about Krishna. The purpose of the ear is not to hear or not to listen Bollywood songs. That is not the purpose of the ear. To hear the so-called singers, rap music, this music, pop, jazz, all these things that I find here in America, and probably now it's coming fast to India also. Sadly, whatever the West does, India follows. It should be the other way around. India is such a spiritually vibrant country. The world should follow. And we see there are Americans who are following the Indian tradition, Vedic Dharma, Sanatan Dharma. And on the flip side, we are stooping ourselves down and watching Netflix and hearing Bollywood songs, Hollywood songs, which is not the purpose of the senses. We are degrading ourselves more. Vani Gunanu Kathane Shravanau Katayam Hastau Chakarma Sumanastava Pada Yorna. The hands are meant to worship the deity form of the Lord. And Sumanas Tava Pada Yorna. The mind is there to think about the lotus feet of the Lord. Smritya Shirastava Nivasa Jagat Praname. The head is there to offer obeisances to the Lord. Dandavat Pranam. And Drishti Satam Darshanes to Bhavat Tanunam. The eyes are meant to see the deity form of the Lord. It is meant to see the devotees. These are the purpose. This is the purpose of the senses why Krishna has given them. Not that we misuse and use it for things of this world. So here we see Kahare na ninda kare Krishna Krishna bole. In the time that we use for criticizing, if that time can be used for glorifying devotees, then it is 100% perfection. So when Sachi Mata finally offered obeisances, took the dust of the lotus feet of Advaita Acharya, then her offense was completely nullified. And this is what Chaitanya-caritāmṛta is saying here. He delivered a love of Krishna to Sachi Devi by nullifying her offense to Advaita Acharya by instructing her to touch Advaita's lotus feet. What is the lesson that we learn? Although one may be very advanced in bhakti, If one offends the lotus feet of a Vaishnava, one's advancement will not bear fruit. हम कितने भी भक्ति के मार्ग में वरिष्ठ क्यों ना हो, यदि भक्तों की निंदा करें तो भक्ति के इस पथ पर प्रगति नहीं कर पाएंगे. We will not be able to make progress. So we see only few lines of Chaitanya Charitamrita. There is so much to discuss. Only one line we discuss, and that one line was almost 30 minutes. So Chaitanya Charitamrita is it is like a deep, dark ocean. It is dark because it is talking about the bluish black Krishna, and it is extremely deep. Hmm. So we see it is Prabhupada's contribution to this world of giving the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One time, Srila Prabhupada was going to Australia, and as Prabhupada was going to Australia, Prabhupada wrote a letter to Rameshwar Prabhu. He wrote a letter to Rameshwar Prabhu that I have been working so hard to write books, and my only hope and only aspiration is that these books get printed. I am writing, I'm having sleepless nights. I'm traveling around, creating farm communities, initiating disciples, teaching them everything. And in parallelly, I'm also writing books with this one desire that the books be printed. Why are you not printing the books? Prabhupada wrote a letter to Rameshwar Prabhu. And Rameshwar Prabhu had no idea of the magnitude of the problem. He was completely clueless. And imagine you get such a heavy letter from your Guru Maharaj. Why are you not doing it? And it was directed towards him. It was not a blanket letter to all disciples. It was to Rameshwar Prabhu. Why are you not doing it? And when he got it, he was he had no frame of reference what is happening. Eventually, Prabhupada went to Hawaii. And at that time, Harikesh Maharaj was Prabhupada's secretary. Harikesh Maharaj called Rameshwar Prabhu and said, I have never seen Prabhupada so angry. Prabhupada is very angry against you that you are not printing his books. Why are you not printing his books? And Rameshwar Prabhu was thinking, I already had one heavy chastisement in the form of letter from Prabhupada. Now seems like it is a really serious case. Rameshwar Prabhu said, Prabhupada has called a GBC meeting in New Dwaraka, which is Los Angeles, California. Prabhupada has called a GBC meeting at New Dwaraka, and he has called all his disciples to discuss on this subject matter. Why his books are not being printed. So you be better prepared with an answer. Rameshwar Prabhu was thinking, my goodness, Prabhupada is really angry. If he has called a GBC meeting just for this one thing, it is actually a very serious thing. So Prabhupada came to New Dwaraka, the famous arrival address, and Prabhupada said, when my Guru Maharaj made Gaudiya Mats, my god brothers, Prabhupada is saying, my god brothers were fighting for rooms. They were saying, I want this room, I want that room. And Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur got so angry with this that he said that whenever in the future you have opportunity, sell this much and whatever money you get, use it for printing books. Whenever you get money, use it for printing books. Because he didn't like that even after constructing a Gaudiya Math, his disciples were fighting, Mujhe ye room chahiye, mujhe wo room chahiye. So Srila Bhakti Saraswati Thakur said, whenever you get money, use it for printing books because that is how the movement will spread. Book distribution is called as Brihad Mridanga. Why Brihad Mridanga? Because the normal Mridanga can you can hear the sound only in a stipulated area. But Brihad Mridanga, it's the larger Mridanga. Why? Because when you distribute books through books, the books will go different places and people will be inspired to practice Krishna consciousness. So it's a bigger form of Mridanga, Brihad Mridanga. So that's why it is also called as Brihad Mridanga book distribution. So Prabhupada in the morning Bhagavatam class, the arrival class, Prabhupada said, my Guru Maharaj always said, when you get money, print books, print books, print books. That is why I'm asking, where are the books? Where are the books? Where are the books? Rameshwar Prabhu says, every time Prabhupada was saying that, it was like a hammer on my head. Where are the books? Where are the books? Because Prabhupada had written a letter to him. So it was directed towards him. Why are you not printing the books? Now imagine your Guru Maharaj is coming and publicly he's asking, where are the books? Why are you not doing it? It's a very serious thing. So next day, Prabhupada was there in the morning walk, Venice Beach. Hmm? Venice Beach morning walk, Prabhupada was there with all his disciples. And as they were walking, Srila Prabhupada was discussing different topics. And then suddenly, Prabhupada stopped. And Prabhupada said, so, what about the books? Prabhupada again brought that topic. Only previous day, Prabhupada had given a heavy chastisement. And again, now Prabhupada brought that topic. So, what about the books? So, now Rameshwar Prabhu had decided that now if Prabhupada asks, I will give a certain answer. So he said, Prabhupada, we thought that every 2 months we can come up with a book. Every 2 months we will come up with one book. So all in all, there were 17 books that were yet to be printed. So he said, Prabhupada, every 2 months we'll come up with one book. Then he said, Prabhupada, actually we can speed up. Every month, one book. Now this is very fast. You see, even in the present day, every month if someone is publishing one book, it is really good speed. So he said, Prabhupada, we can accelerate. And every month, one book can be published. Prabhupada was walking. Prabhupada put his stick down. He said, every month, one book, which means 17 months for 17 books. Prabhupada said, no, this is very slow. Rameshwar Prabhu was thinking, my goodness, this is slow. This is already fast. Prabhupada said, I want the 17 books to be printed in 2 months. That is 17 books in 60 days. Rameshwar Prabhu was thinking, my goodness. And naturally, he said, Prabhupada, this is impossible. Imagine telling this to your Guru Maharaj. When he's instructing you something, he's saying, this is impossible. Nahi hoga. That Prabhupada said, in 2 months, in 60 days, I want 17 books to be printed. Now, it's not just being printed. It's proofreading, editing, printing, adding photos to different pages, and having nice cover page for 17 books in 60 days. So he said, Prabhupada, this is impossible. Prabhupada looked at him, said, impossible? Impossible is a word in Fool's Dictionary, Prabhupada said. Impossible is a word in the Fool's Dictionary. I am not asking you. I am instructing you. I want the 17 books out in 2 months. With Guru's instruction comes empowerment also. We may not be qualified, but with his instruction, there also comes empowerment. Rameshwar Prabhu said, okay, Prabhupada, we will do it. We will do it, Prabhupada. If that is what you want, we will do it for you. And Rameshwar Prabhu, the only request he asked Prabhupada is, Prabhupada, because they had done Sanskrit before, but now the language was different. It was the language of Bengali. And they said, Prabhupada, we are not very familiar with Bengali. So if you can stay here and you can help us, then we can do it very fast. Prabhupada said, yes. For this work, I will stay here at LA. Dear devotees, in the next 2 months, in 60 days, the whole of Chaitanya-caritāmṛta got edited, proofread, published, printed with photos, everything. Those 17 books were the books of the Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta. The whole Chaitanya-caritāmṛta that we are studying right now, in 60 days, cover to cover, end to end, got completely edited, proofread, published, photos, everything, just in a matter of 2 months. This lightning speed, no sampradaya had ever seen. Because publishing one book is itself a challenge. What does speak of publishing 17 books in 60 days? It's probably Guinness Book of World Records. How fast, how super fast. And the devotees were all in their teens. They're probably in their teens or early 20s or mid 20s maximum. These books got printed at a publishing house at Tennessee. Tennessee is a place in the US. So already that publishing house, because that time ISKCON did not have their own printing press, publishing house. So it would be outsourced. So they found a publishing house in Tennessee. And they told that they want to print 17 books in 2 months. Well, that person said, I already have orders before. So I have to first finish that. and then I will come to theirs. They said, Are Baba, we don't have so much time. Our Guru Maharaj is already angry. We have to speed up. You do these books later, but first these books, 17 books should be done. For the next 17 days, these disciples of Prabhupada worked so much, practically slept in the printing press. And in 2 months, in Tennessee, the whole Chaitanya-caritāmṛta, dear devotees, got printed for the first time in English language in the Western world with commentary and purport by Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. This was it never happened before. So the Chaitanya Charitamrita that we have, this is the back history of how it got published and printed in just 60 days. We will find it difficult to read end to end in 60 days. What to speak of publishing, right? 2 महीने में यदि पूर्ण खत्म करना पड़े, so it's going to be very difficult for us. But the disciples of Prabhupada, they did it. In 60 days, end to end, the whole Chaitanya Charitamrita got printed. We see, dear devotees, it is because of the mercy of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakurs. He empowered our Srila Prabhupada, who empowered his disciples, and who are empowering their disciples, and that's how the Sampradaya is continuing. Today is also the appearance day of Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj. Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj was the disciple of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Today is his appearance day. When he joined the Mutt, Gaudiya Mutt, he was only 17 years old. He was born in 1898, pretty much the same time as Srila Prabhupada. And at the age of 17, that is 1915, he joined Gaudiya Mutt and he got initiation. By the time he was in his 20s, he was Brahmanically initiated. He got mantras also. And one time it so happened, as we know, Srila Saraswati Thakur was the personality who introduced the parikrama, Navadvip Dham parikrama, during yatras, Kartik, etc. And we see even now that's continued in ISKCON. But it was Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur who actually started it. So one time in the year of 1925, in a place called as Koladweep, we see we have 9 islands. Ritudweep, Janudweep, Modadrumadweep, Koladweep, Simantadweep, Godrumadweep, etc. Different 9 islands are there. Antardweep. So in a place called as Koladweep, March of 1925, when the Parikrama party they were walking, at that time few dacoits, they started throwing stones. They started pelting stones at these uh, devotees who were doing the Parikrama. Because we say always, you will always have people who are not favorable. You will have devotees on one side and you will also have quote unquote demons who are against your practices. So they started throwing stones, they started pelting stones and bricks. So all the devotees started running. And so much so that Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada's life was in danger. So this brahmachari, Vinod Bihari Brahmachari, that was his brahmachari name, Vinod Bihari Brahmachari. So he took Srila Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur to rescue. And he took him inside a room. And as he took him inside the room, he resembled Saraswati Thakur exactly. Both were like Xerox copy. Both would have like round glasses and pretty much the same features. So he said, Srila Gurudev, you please take my brahmachari cloth and I will take your sannyas cloth and I will go out. So that even if they throw stones, it will be at me, but your life will be rescued. And he was so commanding, just like Tamal Krishna Maharaj was to Srila Prabhupada. Very dear, but at the same time, very authoritative also. Similarly, Srila Vinod Bihari Brahmachari was like that. He told Srila Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada that let us exchange our cloth. And they exchanged their cloth. And Srila Saraswati Thakur wore the Brahmachari cloth of his disciple, that is Vinod Bihari Brahmachari. And Vinod Bihari Brahmachari wore the sannyas cloth of his Guru Maharaj, Srila Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. And as he was wearing the sannyas cloth, Srila Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur thought to himself that because there is so much riots that are going outside, it is possible that he may not live. His life was in danger. So while Vinod Bihari Brahmachari was wearing sannyas cloth, our Srila Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur gave him sannyas mantra and gave him sannyas. Direct. Without any fire yajna, without any fire sacrifice, because he thought his life is in danger and someone has to take the sampradaya ahead. So as he was, imagine you're wearing some cloth and your Guru Maharaj gives you diksha. You are not even asked for it. Vinod Bihari Brahmachari was wearing sannyas cloth and Srila Saraswati Thakur said, I give you sannyas and this is the sannyas mantra and your name will be Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj. And eventually we see Srila Keshav Maharaj protected the life from that event. He protected the life of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. It is Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj who gave sannyas to our Srila Prabhupada in the year of 1959 at Keshavji Gaudiya Math. It is Srila Keshav Maharaj who gave sannyas to our Prabhupada and gave him the name A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. From Abhay Babu, our Prabhupada became Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami. And in the year of 1968, October of 1968, Prabhupada had come here to Seattle. When Prabhupada came here to Seattle, actually Seattle is a very glorious place for the fact, if you read the Lilamrit, it is explained in the Lilamrit, the first ever Gaurarti in ISKCON was done here in ISKCON Seattle. Prabhupada first ever ISKCON Gaurarti was sung here, ISKCON Seattle. So Satsvarup Maharaj writes that in Srila Prabhupada Lilamrit. So when Prabhupada was there here, October of 1968, Prabhupada gets the news that his sannyas Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Kesav Goswami Maharaj, has departed this world. And Prabhupada starts crying, sitting on the Vyasas, and he starts crying. And Prabhupada even composes a verse for Srila Keshav Maharaj that it is because of him that I was awarded sannyas. Prabhupada had so much respect for Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj because he offered him sannyas and he was his god brother. So we see today is Srila Keshav Maharaj's appearance day. He who got sannyas while changing the cloth with Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. It is his appearance day. Dear devotees, what is more fascinating is Srila Saraswati Thakur gave him, when he got initiated, Srila Saraswati Thakur gave him the name Vinod Bihari Brahmachari. And in the spiritual world, his name is Vinoda Manjari. So Srila Saraswati Thakur practically knew it. And that is why even when he got initiated, he gave him the name Vinod Bihari Brahmachari. And in the spiritual world, his name is Vinoda Manjari. And Srila Saraswati Thakur's name in the spiritual world is Nayana Mani Manjari. So in this way, we see it's a mutual relationship between the disciple and the spiritual master. Whether it is Srila Keshav Maharaj's love for Saraswati Thakur or whether it is Rameshwar Prabhu's unparalleled love for our Srila Prabhupada by printing 17 books in a matter of 60 days and giving all of us the Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta in the English language for the very first time. Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta ki jai, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai, समस्त गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, निताय गौर